This is the latest with the hearing here, day 2 of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Dianne Feinstein with a nice, warm, fuzzy moment asking Judge Barrett to introduce her family. She's got 6 of her 7 kids lined up behind her. She's got siblings, her sisters, her husband, of course. And it was a nice moment, a rare, nonpartisan moment. Of course, Senator Feinstein grilling Judge Barrett about abortion, but here's a little bit of the exchange moments ago with Amy Coney Barrett, day 2 of the confirmation hearings.
How does it feel to be nominated for the Supreme Court of the United States?
Well, Senator, I've tried to be on a media blackout for the sake of my mental health, but you can't keep yourself walled off from everything, and I'm aware of a lot of the caricatures that are floating around. So I think what I would like to say in response to that question is that, look, I've made distinct choices. I've decided to pursue a career and have a large family. I have a multiracial family. Our faith is important to us. All of those things are true, but they are my choices. And in my personal interactions with people, I have a life brimming with people who've made different choices, and I've never tried in my personal life to impose my choices on them. And the same is true professionally. I apply the law. And Senator, I think I should say why I'm sitting in this seat in response to that question, too. Why I've agreed to be here, because I don't think it's any secret to any of you or to the American people that this is a really difficult, some might say excruciating process. And Jesse and I had a very brief amount of time to make a decision with momentous consequences for our family. We knew that our lives would be combed over for any negative detail. We knew that our faith would be caricatured. We knew our family would be attacked. And so we had to decide whether those difficulties would be worth it, because what sane person would go through that if there wasn't a benefit on the other side? And the benefit, I think, is that I'm committed to the rule of law and the role of the Supreme Court in dispensing equal justice for all. And I'm not the only person who could do this job, but I was asked, and it would be difficult for anyone. So why should I say someone else should do the difficulty? If the difficulty is the only reason to say no, I should serve my country. And my family's all in on that because they share my belief in the rule of law.
That's Amy Coney Barrett getting sort of a softball from Senator Lindsey Graham, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. It's going to get a little more contentious as the Democrats start to ask her about her views on her pro-life stance. She's a pro-life Catholic, a mother of 7. And a fascinating exchange is sure to come. We're going to play all that for you. So stick around here in the ReliefFactor.com studios. I want you to hear the exchange she had moments ago with Dianne Feinstein. On the MyPillow text line, a note from Steve who writes, Mike, on the Never Trumpers, I don't understand the lack of grace on their part either. I have a good and conservative friend who's a Never Trumper who is absolutely blinded by his hatred of Donald Trump, and I just don't understand. I keep trying to get him to instead consider the bigger picture of this overall conflict and his conservative values, but to no avail. He's simply determined to cut off his nose to spite his face. I'm referring to a debate I watched online last night. I didn't see all of it, but I watched a good part of it between Eric Metaxas, who is an evangelical Christian broadcaster and writer and Trump supporter, and David French, who is a lifelong conservative and I believe evangelical Christian, very spiritual guy, smart guy, brilliant intellect, and just has scathing condemnation for Trump. There is not one redeeming value to the Trump presidency, according to people like David French. Maybe we should just ask spiritual, conservative, Republican Trump haters directly. If you agree with David French, join me. Let's talk a little bit about it. Why is there no grace or forgiveness or compassion or decency or kindness ever extended to Trump himself? It may seem like a simplistic question, but I think it's relevant and I think it's powerful. 1-800-655-MIKE. If you're of that mindset, you are a lifelong conservative, maybe a registered Republican, help us go through your process 3 weeks away from the election. You're going to go pull the lever for a political party that supports abortion up to the moment of birth? You're going to support a political party that will undoubtedly pack the Supreme Court so they have a liberal majority that will affect your children and your grandchildren, that will affect generations? You're going to support a political party that wants to offer health care to illegal immigrants while maybe you haven't been able to pay for health care during this 2020 pandemic? You're going to support a political party that has largely been silent over the violence we've seen in America's streets? Statues, just as recently as yesterday, torn down in Portland. Statues of Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. Windows smashed, businesses destroyed. And a political party that has been conspicuously silent in condemning those actions. Honestly, tell me why you believe that President Trump deserves zero grace, zero compassion, zero forgiveness for his actions in the past, and zero appreciation for what has been accomplished under the conservative banner for the last 4 years. I'm genuinely mystified by that, and maybe you can fill me in.